On July 24th of 2025, the Curaçao Tax Administration was hit by ransomware. They decided to pull the plug, and so for 10 days, the system was completely down. And even though this lasted only 10 days, the effects lasted way longer than that. So today we're going to look into what happened and what that means for your organization, because I know for a fact that you have digital transformation very high onto your agenda. Hello, my name is Aisha. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I discuss everything digital transformation in the Caribbean. I have spent 2.5 years shipping AI products, and now I work with leaders in the Caribbean to help them turn their digital ambition into operational clarity and execution. So what happened? On the 24th of July in 2025, the IT staff discovered that there was ransomware inside of their systems. To avoid any more trouble or this escalating further, they decided we are going to take this down. As a consequence of that, all of the services that were being serviced through that system of, hey, I'm going online, and then in the back end, the company is able to process the data and do what they have to do to help you, wasn't happening anymore. They did leave the portal online. As a consequence of these 10 days of disruption, people couldn't pay their vehicle tax. People that filed that were waiting for tax returns had to wait even longer. People that kept using the online portals, nothing was happening because the data wasn't going where it had to go. So then when the system was up again, there was a long queue of people that were waiting to be serviced. And the worst part was, because of the dependency on this system, all of the data, like the revenue tracking of the country itself in terms of where are they compared to the budget that they set out, they weren't able to do this. Later on, the Financial Supervision Committee graded them a big F. They were told that they were not modernizing fast enough, and because of this, they got themselves into this trouble. The interesting thing is that they actually knew that they had these vulnerabilities in their system because a cybersecurity company told them about the vulnerabilities, and they were also advised in terms of what to do. But who knows what happened? This was shelved, and then a year later, they were hit with this ransomware. But what I'm going to discuss here is what I want you to realize and think about as your organization is also undergoing digital transformation. A big mindset shift that we all need to take into account is that even though it sounds logical that when we are in a low digital maturity environment, that it means that the risk is low. It's actually the other way around. The lower your digital maturity is, the higher risk you have to deal with upfront. In this case, business continuity. If we have fragile systems, what's going to happen if the system is down? This wasn't a crazy ransomware attack. A lot of the times, and what research has also shown, is Latin America and the Caribbean region are one of the most vulnerable regions when it comes to cyber attacks. So the first real lesson you have to get out of this is understanding the relationship between digital maturity in your organization and risk. A lot of the times leaders think, okay, my organization is not so digitally mature, we're going towards there, so there's not a lot of risk. It's actually the other way around. The lower your maturity is, the higher the risk you have up front, because you have different systems that maybe aren't integrated, you're using outdated systems. So that is the first lesson you have to get out of this. Just because we are now stepping into using our first modern, fully digitalized system doesn't mean that we are free of risk. We actually have more risk to take care of. Number 2 is no recovery plan. Somehow we all think, oh, let's implement this software. We don't have a recovery plan in place, or what happens if there's no business continuity, and then we just implement the software and then something happens and we have 1 year of suffering of the consequences. That is number 2. And number 3 is because of your low digital maturity and you thinking, oh, I don't have a lot of risk up front, people then don't invest into the security layer that is actually so important, especially for semi-public and public organizations. So this is a very interesting paradox, right? It's like in the Caribbean, the earlier you are in digital transformation, the more you have to invest to mitigate risk and also to avoid or to be prepared for if something like this happens, because at the end of the day, not everything is going to be in your control. The lesson you have to take out of this is you cannot approach digital transformation as an IT project of, oh, this is a technology we have to implement, let's implement it. You also have to think about the business continuity aspects of things, the digital maturity of your organization, and do you have the competence and capabilities in-house, or do you need help from the outside? What I would have done in this scenario, if I was involved in this project, is to map out the risks as well, and not only look at how it's going to go if everything goes well, but what are all the reasons or all the things that could happen that would disrupt the system? Like, what is the single point of failure, or what are the single points of failure? And then coming up with a business continuity plan so that when any of these points is being affected, that you know what to do. For example, if all your data is just in one system and that one system is disrupted, of course, you're going to have that long queue of people and all of your services are disrupted. But if you are realistic and you tell yourself, hey, actually, this is one of the first times we are implementing digital technology. We have all of these patch systems. We received a report from a cybersecurity company that is telling us that, hey, the risk is quite big. Okay, given that this is my reality, what do I need to do to mitigate these risks? That is the question that should have been answered. So the question you need to ask yourself right now is, where is your company on that digital maturity curve? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I didn't get into depth into what that means, I know. But think about it, like based on how you feel, like where would you say your digital maturity is, and how is your thinking right now in terms of security and risk? Are you also thinking that, hey, the lower my digital maturity is, the less risk I have? And if something were to happen right now, would you be prepared to respond to it? If you're going to implement new products, new services that are all relying on digital infrastructure, are you prepared for a disruption? So if you're finding yourself in that situation that you're thinking, okay, our systems are kind of like patchwork right now, I don't know what would happen if something goes down, I am doing these 30-minute sessions where I will give you practical insights that you can implement. There is no pressure here. There is no pitch. It's for you to receive the value you need to, and also for us to get to know each other. So go ahead and book that call in the description, and I'll see you next time. Bye.